Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a good week of trading so far. This week's been a down week for me so far. Of course, after a couple of weeks of pretty good returns, we expect a little pullback at some point. So that's what's happening this week for us. But we'll take a look at that portfolio and see what's going on there, see if we've got anything that's we need to be excited about. Did make a trade this week, so we'll talk about that a little bit as well. But other than that, it's just been kind of a slow week. It was off Monday, of course. So let's take a look at what's going on and talk about tomorrow and what we can expect to end. All right, so here we are, our portfolio. As you can see here, we did have a little bit of green today and a little bit of red, mostly red. The market was down a little bit, I think, overall. But let's go ahead and take a look at what our stocks are doing today. SH, now this is one I did purchase this week. Purchased it on the 19th, I think it was. Yeah, the 19th. We bought it in all three accounts. I've actually, as you'll recall, I bought it a week ago, I think, and could not buy it in one of the accounts. One of the IRA accounts had to go set something up. So I went ahead and set that up so I could get it in that account as well. So we've got it actually across all three accounts now. The SH, this is the ProShare Shorts S&P, so it's going to do the opposite of the market pretty much. Even though the market closed down a little bit today, I think this one did too. But you can see it kind of flat in after hours, nothing really going on there. But let's take a look at that 5-day chart. As you can see, we did buy it sometime last week, and it has been going down because the market's going up. So it's, as long as the market's going to go up, this thing's going to go down. We bought it primarily for like an insurance type thing. Instead of having all this money in cash, my expectation is the market's going to pull back at some point. Now, it may be after the first quarter. It may be later than that. Who knows? But I'm expecting things to pull back a little bit. Some of my stuff is already, but I was not really hoping that would happen, but it is. But the market itself has been doing pretty good this week. So as long as that market does good, this one's going to be going down a little bit. Okay, so we got that down just a hair today. It's five-day look here. You can see here you're only talking about 1763 down to 1748. So nothing to get excited about either way there. It's not going to be a fast mover either way. I mean, this is reflecting the move in the market. Unless the market just takes a terrible dive in a day, that's not going to really do a whole lot. It's going to be a slow whatever, up or down. So, all right, KO, that's our Coca-Cola. Actually had a good day finally, so we're happy to see that. Volume a little above normal. Let's see what we got on a 5-day here. 5-day, you're still got a downward trend on it, so not time to cost average it. But I think we were down about 6%, maybe a little bit more than that on that one now. But you can see we've still got a little downward trend, about $1 off of that, from 49 to 48 something. So actually almost 50 to 49. A little bit above normal on the volume, but other than that, we do get a 3.3% dividend here. Again, if you watch my channel, I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to dividends because a lot of times I'm not even in the trade long enough to collect the dividend, and plus I don't really put a whole lot of faith in dividends because it just seems like the stock can go down more than the dividend pays out. So a lot of times, so I don't really worry about that. I'm trying to make money on the stock price, and I don't, if you get paid a dividend, that's great, but it's not something I really focus on. A lot of folks do. A lot of folks, that's all they'll buy, something with dividends. So to each his own. Okay, different strategies, and I've got a couple of videos on strategies if you want to go watch those. TLRY, that's one of the ones that had been going up, but it's been pulling back pretty regular here. We do have a normal volume where we were having high volume before. So let's take a look at a 5-day chart. It doesn't look as bad as it was, I didn't think. So we've got actually a little bit of an upward movement on TLRY for a 5-day. So that's not as bad as I thought. I was thinking we had a downward trend going on that one, but not so. So it's still hanging in there pretty good. XSPA had a pretty good move today on that one, 7%. Let's take a look at that real quick. And 5-day chart on it. There's your 5-day chart. This is today's volume. Good volume today, so we need to kind of look at that. But 5-day chart's a pretty good little move on this one. 132 up to 160. That's a pretty good little move. So this is the one that has the COVID testing facilities in the airport. So they opened another one here. Looks like at the Salt Lake City. So, you know, they'll pop on the news like that a lot of times. But that's kind of what we bought it for. We were hoping that we'd get a good pop, and as long as they're doing these testing in these airports, and if they ever, you know, get that to working real good, then we might have a good little stock here. But that's it right there. It's a good little 5-day chart on that one. So we're liking to see that. We don't have a lot in these in that one. Nikola. Now, Nikola is one of our larger holdings right now. It did have a pretty good day, 2.2%. No volume to it whatsoever, though, compared to the normal volume. Let's take a look at the 5-day chart. The 5-day chart, we're pretty flat. Pretty flat all the way across there. So nothing much happening there. So far, I hadn't seen the one that's really causing me the trouble this week. But we'll see here. HTBX, a little green on that one, just barely. No volume whatsoever on that one, really. And there's your 5-day chart on that one. So that one's looking good. That's been a good little 5-day chart. Not bad at all on that one. So those are moving in the right direction, slowly but surely. Novavax had a wild day today. I was watching it, and it was in the green pretty good here for a while. Got all the way up to, let's see what was the high day, 129.80. Ends up closing at 122.40, and then pops a little bit in the after hours. But no volume. You can see the volume here. It's very low volume, half the normal volume. So nothing really going on with Novavax that I know of. Korea may secure additional COVID vaccines for Novavax. So still waiting on that P3 test in I think it's Australia and Europe, and they haven't. I don't think they've even mentioned when they're going to start the P3 in the United States. They may have, and I may have missed it, but not a lot going on with Novavax right now as far as news. But that news could come out any day. But that bar is set high. You know, the other ones were 90% effective, 95% effective. So the bar is high. And so they got to at least hit that 90%, I would think. All right, XOM, ExxonMobil, it's down pretty good today. I think oil took a hit today. Let's take a 5-day chart at that. A little bit downward trend, not too much. It's not going to kill too bad, but normal volume. Check out the dividend on that one, 7.03. Okay, 7.03. But, you know, you got to worry about what direction these things are going, but that's doing pretty good. So that dividend would be nice if you're getting it still at 7.03. That's a pretty good little dividend as it's still going up. That's good. That's good. All right, so U.S. Steel, let's take a look at that one. U.S. Steel took a pretty good little lick today. A little bit of over volume there, not much. U.S. Steel, no dividend to speak of. And here's your 5-day chart on X. It's gone down from 22.83 down to 19.23. So that's a pretty good little drop in a 5-day period. This one here, I think, let me pull that 6-month chart up. I think this is the area that I would be getting interested, you know, right in this $17, $16 area, because that was a pretty good little support it bounced from last time. So we'll be looking at that. If it gets around that area, we may start nibbling on that one. Not that I'm in any kind of hurry still to get into this market. I'm waiting for a good pullback. ACB has been, it took a good little hit today, 3%. No volume to speak of, though. I did see an offering, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. I want to show you the 5-day chart. It's not too bad. It's gone down a little bit. But here's the news today that made it go down. And it didn't go down. You see the volume was not terrible, so it's nothing to get it too excited about. Uh, but it was they made an offering of looks like 12 million shares at a price of 10.45. Okay, at a price of 10.45, it closed at 11.17 for gross proceeds of approximately 125 million. The offering each unit would be comprised of one common share of the company and one half of one common share purchase warrant of the company. So, a purchase warrant is just some kind of thing that is exercisable at a later date. It looks like for a 36-month or so, at a closing price of 12.60. So, that gives you. I mean, if this thing was to go to $20, by 3 years from now, or 36 months, they can buy that. They can buy that other share. Let's see, was it half a warrant, half a share, half of one common share purchase warrant. So half of and one half of one common share purchase warrant. So they could buy that share at whatever the price was, 12.60, at an exercise price of 12.60 per warrant share. Okay, so one half of one common share purchase warrant. Okay, so all right, so that's kind of how that works. It's just it's a little ticket to buy something down the road if if it's any cheaper. It's kind of like if you work for a company, sometimes you get paid options and things like that to buy things down the road, and that's what that is. A little bit extra. I mean, it was 10.45 plus you get that little half a warrant, and that's kind of like a ticket to buy something cheaper down the road. Now, if it isn't cheaper, it doesn't do you any good down the road, right? So, but that's what that was for. So that made it go down a little bit, but the volume. Check out the volume here. There was no serious volume compared to the average volume. So nothing to be worried about there. I'd expect this thing to recover, but they're heading the wrong direction. These pot stocks are. Of course, TLRY was not as bad as I thought it was. So that was a good thing as far as my mind goes. I kind of was thinking it was TLRY was getting beat up too. So really not seeing a whole lot as far as what would be causing the pullback on the portfolio this week. Just really didn't see anything jumped out at me. Maybe Nikola. Let's see what it was doing in 5 days. Okay, well, there's just nothing really jumping out at me, but we've had a down week. It could be some of the other stocks that I'm holding that's not listed on this portfolio too. So that's probably what's causing the downward week. Not so much these stocks, but it's some other stuff I've got in some of these some of the other stocks that I have that are not on this list. Okay, so let's take a look. I wanted to take a look at some futures and what's going on there. You can see here we've got the futures. Looks like they're down a little bit. Dow futures down at 116. So we may have a red start to the day, which means if it's a red tomorrow, this one's probably going to be green. SH is probably going to be green. Crude oil was down. Took a pretty good lick towards the end of the day there. But it's down, but still up above 50. So that's good. But let's take a real quick look at this just to see if there's any kind of news that we need to be aware of here. Biden facing pressures to scale back his 1.9 trillion COVID relief plan. So he's going to scale it back a little bit. Bitcoin tumbles below 30,000, extends its plunge to start 2021. I have just recently bought some Bitcoin. I was buying GBTC, but I got into I forget the name of it. Let me grab my phone real quick and I'll tell you. I think it's downloaded this little app, and let's see what it's called here. It's called Coinbase. So I downloaded my Coinbase and actually set everything up there. Just bought some of that just to kind of get an idea of, how do you buy the Bitcoin and that kind of thing. And Coinbase makes it pretty simple. You're just setting up an account, kind of like almost like having a Venmo account where you can buy these coins and then you get it back in the cash value once you sell them. So you can actually set them up to buy a certain amount every month, or different time periods. And so it looked like it was a pretty good way to do that. I'm not impressed with the fees. The fees are high. And also, of course, it's gone down 15%. And I think I started on Sunday night or maybe Monday night. But it's already down 15% because you can see it's getting clobbered at the beginning of the year. I don't have a lot of it. It's very little, I mean, tiny amount. But I'm just mainly doing it for educational purposes. It's kind of like this when I talked about these, buying stocks and trading stocks. You can do the same thing. You can do Robinhood. You can do TD Ameritrade, Fidelity. Stocks are even better because you don't even have to pay a fee. You can buy one share or something. Fidelity actually allows you to buy a partial share. You can buy $100 worth of Apple or something like that, and no fee. So it's a lot better than it was when I first got started because you were paying anywhere from like $19.99 a trade to 30 something a trade back when I first got started, and you couldn't buy one share of anything because you'd be your ratio of fee would be so high. So now there's actually no fees to buy something. So there's no excuse not to get into it and trade and just play. And if you got $100, you could buy 5 different stocks, $20 worth in each stock. So it's good to just get educated on things that you can do with your money. And I would encourage any young person to do that. If you get $100 for your birthday, go put it in a TD Ameritrade account or Fidelity. Fidelity would be better because that Fidelity gives you that flex where you can just buy a certain amount of money's worth of a share. Where TD Ameritrade, I'm not sure they do that yet. I haven't noticed it if they do, but definitely can do that with Fidelity. Robinhood, I think you can do that. I hadn't ever used Robinhood, but I think you can do that with Robinhood as well. But I would do that before I even think about buying Bitcoin. And I actually bought 2 different cryptos, Bitcoin and Ethereum or something like that. That's the second most popular, I believe. And so I bought both of those, a little bit of those, and we're going to just see how it goes. Right now, I'm not impressed, and I'm going to stick with the markets and not the Bitcoin stuff. Again, GBTC is a good ETF. If you want to do it without having to worry about Bitcoins and all that, they I think they do just several different cryptos, and it's a Bitcoin trust type thing or a crypto trust. So I don't really recommend anybody jumping in on the Bitcoin stuff necessarily because I don't know anything about it for sure, and that's what I'm trying to learn. So never hurts to try to learn new things, but if you're going to put your money anywhere right now, I would just do it with stocks, like I was talking about with Fidelity. But all right, so tomorrow it looks like we're going to start out a little red, possibly. May close out the week in the red. That's okay. We've had a really good start. We're still up over 6% for the year, the beginning of the year here, so that's not bad at all. Matter of fact, we could unplug right now and meet all the goals for the whole year. So that's a nice place to be already. But that can change overnight, and it's already changing because we were 7.5 at one point. So it's already gone down another percent, but that's okay. I'd rather be there than down 7%. So, but I'm not gonna be buying a whole lot. I mean, I bought the SH, and that's mainly to have something that's other than just sitting in cash. I could have bought a SPY, and if I'd have bought SPY, I'd been better off because it's gone up. All right, SPY is the S&P, ETF more or less that reflects S&P. They're a little bit different. Me and my buddy was out today for lunch. We were kind of comparing the two. You would think they'd be the inverse of each other, but they're not necessarily. So, but they're very close to tracking with the S&P or short of the S&P. So, but whichever way you think the market's going, you could do either one of those. I think it's going to be down before it goes up. Any amount anyway. I mean, it's gone up here lately, but I think the risk is towards the downside. I believe it's going to go down. I believe it's going to go down at some point and start pulling back when this COVID stuff really kicks in and people realize the economy's not going to be recovering anytime soon because it looks like we may have more shutdowns before we have open up. So, but That's my opinion. You may have a totally different one, and there are people that do. There's some people that think this thing's going to really take off the first part of the year, and they may be right. And I've still got stocks 20, well, I'm 66% cash right now, so we're 34% in. And so we're not going to be completely out of it either way, but I would say, we might be 24% in and 10% short. So that's kind of the way I look at it. But I hope you have a good rest of your week in trading tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of trading probably the first part of the year. I'm waiting for the big pullback of about 10-15%. Once it does that, then I'll probably start buying some things. Okay, but I won't wait forever. I mean, I'm gonna kind of sit it out here. But at some point, if I think it's going to be okay, then I'm going to jump back in because I want to put this money to work. All right. Can't make money with it parked on the sidelines. Of course, you can't lose a whole lot either. But anyway, have a great week. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. Click the like button if you like the videos, and also uh, shoot me a comment if you got something going on or any suggestions or questions or whatever. But appreciate the comments that you've been commenting, and we'll talk to you later on. Have a great tomorrow and the rest of the week. All right. See you later in the week. Probably going to be Sunday night when we get back on here. Thanks. Bye.